Hello everybody, it's classicSEGA13, and today we're reviewing the Nintendo Game Boy versus the Sega Game Gear. Yeah, Sega Game Gear. Nobody's probably heard of this, seen one before. Pretty hard to find. So, I guess we'll start off with the Sega Game Gear, since after all it is my favorite. Alright, so just to begin with, it's huge. Like, look at this. It can eat 2 Nintendos, okay? If you put it sideways, it can still eat another Nintendo Game Boy. And, yeah, nice screen. It's definitely bigger than the Nintendo Game Boy. And it's also in color, unlike the Nintendo Game Boy, which is green and black. But one of the things that makes this pretty unsuccessful game console is because who can fit this in their damn pocket? Like, who has pockets the size of a cheeseburger to fit a Sega Game Gear in? Now, the Nintendo Game Boy isn't very small either, but you can kind of shove this into your pocket. There's no way in hell you're fitting that in your pocket. Alright. And also, another thing I gotta show you is the batteries. Yeah, that's right, when game systems used to work on batteries. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 AA batteries to run this machine. This monstrous machine. Now, you can also get the AC adapter, so it doesn't have to run on batteries, but doesn't that make it so it's not portable? So you have to have it into a wall outlet? That makes no sense. But so that's 6 AA's compared to the Nintendo Game Boy, which only has 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 AA batteries. And it lasts about the same time as this does. But, I guess you can kinda have to let it slide because it was pretty cool to have a color screen, so I guess that's why they need 6 batteries for it. But another thing I have to share with you is when I bought this Nintendo, it was in a garage sale sitting in the sun on a table, and I got it for $5 with a Nintendo. So that's $5 for this, and it worked real good. This, on the other hand, $10 for it, okay? $10 just for this, figured to work. It doesn't. It turns on and it won't read the games. So then I had to go out and buy this for $10. Yeah, look at this. Oh yeah, look at that big Sega Game Gear case, and inside you have none other than a Sega Game Gear also. So this one works, and it came with a game. The only game that I'm blessed to have is Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which can't get past the 3rd level, so they kind of screwed up on that game. And I'll review Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Game Gear later, but right now we're focusing on the consoles. So, since I got these out, games, why don't we compare the game cartridges? Let me just close that up there, put that over there, go back to the broken one. Alright, so these are the games. You know, they're about the same size. This is for the Game Boy. That's the Game Gear game. Again, the Game Gear game totally destroys the Nintendo game by a little bit in size comparison. And, these games are also a lot harder to find than these. You can find these almost anywhere. I found this in my shoe. Yeah, in my shoe. It just popped out magically. That's how many of them there are. These, since the game console, wasn't too successful, kinda hard to find. And they're both top loaders. You both of the systems, you put the games on the top of them. But overall, I think the Game Gear is a little bit better, fit your hand, But then again, everybody already had the Nintendo Game Boy, which fit your hand pretty well. And this is also a lot portable. Alright, well, I don't think there's too much else to say, except how much I hate Sonic games, because I'm really bad at them. So if I had to compare the two, which I am, I had to pick a winner out of them, I'd have to say, even though as much as I hate Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I loved Terminator 2 the movie, I'm gonna have to pick the Sega Game Gear, because I had, even though it's not too portable, you can always just make a you can just like sew a pocket onto your pants, a custom pocket for this. And it had some pretty cool games, like the Sonic games, which I hate. But you can also get Mortal Kombat for it. I've heard some pretty cool games. So, that's it. That's all I have to say about the Nintendo Game Boy versus the Sega Game Gear. And, that's it. See you later.